it's Melissa with the M Word. If you're new here, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kiddos. I have an 8-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Today is a collaboration with a bunch of other secular homeschooling moms, and we are going over kind of our biggest miss this year homeschool-wise. So 2020, Riker was barely a year old and COVID had started. I got pregnant and I was tired a lot and struggling with a toddler and being pregnant. In 2021, we had a newborn, Emma, and so 2023 has probably been one of our best school years, or 2022-2023 school year has probably been our best school year so far, in which we kind of know what we want to do for curriculum. All of our kids are out of that infant stage. I'm not exhausted as much from being pregnant or having toddlers while I'm pregnant. Emma's 2, but she's acts a lot more like her brother, who's 3, almost 4. And I think this year we just have a better flow this year. For this one of the first years, we kind of have a lot better flow. So I don't know, we took more time off this year than I had planned, but we did a lot better this year than I ever have in previous years. So I feel like that's a plus. But I think we did use teaching textbooks this year, and I thought it would be a way to make it so I hear everybody say that they don't like Matthew C because it's mastery program and it never wraps back around, and that she'll be behind in say multiplication up until she does this book, and she'll be behind in division until she does delta. However, I don't think the spiral approach with teaching textbooks helped her any. A, she didn't know how to do some of the things because she hasn't done multiplication yet or division yet. And B, they don't do a good job of explaining anything. So when she first came across multiplication in teaching textbooks, she was just given the answers for the most part. Like, not the answers, but the question. Like, here's your question. And she never got a good teaching moment. Like, they always had the teaching section at the beginning of teaching textbooks, but then they never had it. They never really, once they gave you the questions, there was never really, I don't know, she just really struggled with teaching textbooks. I honestly loved teaching textbooks. I thought it was fun and engaging, and it was super portable because it was on her tablet and I didn't have to worry about it, and I didn't have to teach it or look at it or do anything because the grade would just show up on my phone and my email, and I loved that. But in application with my daughter this year, it has not gone well. It's more pulling teeth to have her even do it. She enjoys it once it's open, but once she starts to struggle even a little bit, I don't know. There's no way to go back and like just quick watch the lesson plan, not that I've found at least. And I don't know, it just seems a lot harder for us to use than I expected. So we're pushing through this year. Well, we were. I gave up about 2 months ago and decided just not to make her do it. We just do this one like 3 days a week yet, sometimes more if I want to push through farther, or if it's a lesson she's struggling with, I just have her do more the Matthew C. The plan all along was for Matthew C to be her main curriculum and the teaching textbooks to be secondary, and there's really no point. It doesn't work well for her. She doesn't like it. So I'm just going to stick with Matthew C and call that good. So I guess that's my big miss this year. I don't think we've read as many books as I would have wanted to read this year. A lot of other years we've done really good about going to the library and getting books and doing a lot of those kind of things and reading a lot together, and I did not do a very good job of that this year. I'm not even sure we've been to the library once this year to pick out books. I have been getting books from the Libby app. I can kind of just insert it here, and we've been doing read alouds here and there. The book ends up going back to the library on Libby before we even finish it most of the time. And I'm not really sure why we're struggling to do read alouds this year. That's one of the few things we do really well at. So I don't really know why we're struggling so much with them this year. Hopefully next year it'll be a lot better. I'm going to add a lot of literature studies in with our books this next year, so it's more of an actual curriculum and maybe it's more fun that way. We did read kind of like YouTube read alouds and stuff, but no real good chapter books this year. We started the Wild Robot, and it went back before we finished it. We started Little House on the Prairie. It went back before we finished it. Like, I don't know if it's because I switched to audiobooks that's the problem. I feel like my kids aren't really listening. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. And I thought if I wasn't physically reading it to them, then maybe it was a faster way to actually still get in reading aloud without having to read aloud to them, because I could do the dishes or make lunch while they got read aloud to, and it just doesn't seem to be working well. YouTube read alouds, they work really well for us, but it's still reading, I suppose, but I think I write them down, but I tend to forget sometimes, and they're definitely not chapter books, so there's that. We just got Echo Mountain, so I'm hoping that we can get all the way through that, because I did order the physical book and I ordered the literature study. I can leave the links to all that below. I do have 20% off if you're interested in looking in Barefoot Within the Trees and all her literature guides. So that would be my biggest miss, is I didn't read aloud to my kids as much as I would have liked to, and teaching textbooks did not work out the way I had hoped it would this year. So if you have any questions for me about those, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to check out the playlist with all the other secular homeschooling moms showing and sharing their misses. Maybe you can learn from us and try to avoid the same mistakes. And if you like these kind of videos, please go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.